What you guys, today we're taking a look at Beelink's 5th generation high performance office mini PC. This is the SER5. This one has the Ryzen 5 5560U in it. It costs around about £350. Always do your research because sometimes these pop up on flash deals at real cheap prices. Now the specification on this is the Beelink SER5 5560U. This CPU in here is the Ryzen 5 2.4 GHz boosting to 4.0 GHz, 6 cores, 12 threads, L2 3MB cache, L3 8MB cache. Also, it does have the graphics on here with a 6-core 1600 MHz. Now, 16 gigabytes of DDR4, and we also have 1 gigabit Ethernet port, Wi-Fi 6E support, and Bluetooth 5.2. The storage on this is 500 gigabytes. And you can also add an SSD to this unit as well. The looks of these are pretty much the same with all the other ones. They're just different specs, but they just keep the same sort of case look for this particular model. Inside the box, you're going to get your user manual with color pictures and English text, and it's pretty straightforward and easy to understand and set up if you've never set one of these up before. Here's your manual on how to install an hard disk inside here or an SSD. Also, we have the unit itself on here, which we'll take a closer look at in a second. And on the right-hand side, you've got all your accessories. Always amazes me how they manage to cram everything in these little boxes. So inside here, you're going to get your power brick. This is to power the actual mini PC itself. It does have a barrel connector on the end here and a UK plug on this one. But if you do buy one from another country, it's going to have your connector on here for your country. 2 little HDMI cables on here. You can use other cables if you wish, but it does come with 2 gold-plated cables on here, as you can see. These are HDMI. And we also have the little ribbon cable here for adding in another drive. So this is your ribbon cable. And we have some screws. And we also have the wall mounting bracket here, which is to mount this to a wall or desk or something like that. And we have a user manuals. So this is the actual device here. On the front of the device, we have that piano black, which is like a glossy black finish. Now, these mini PCs are great for some light gaming and also office work and things like that. You can do quite a bit with these. And Beelink makes some of the best mini PCs out there on the market. On the sides here, we do have some ventilation on the sides. There's a bit of ventilation on the top. And also on the front here, we have that clear CMOS on there. We have 2 USB 3.0 ports, a Type-C input there as well, earphone port, and also a power. I think the Type-C connection here is data only. And there we have our headphone input here and a power button. So let's move on round the back of the unit itself. We do have that 1 gigabit Ethernet port on the back. And that's 1000 Mbps support for that LAN port there. And also we have 2 USB 2.0 ports. Would have liked to seen these being USB 3.0, but they're 2.0 ports on here. This is a budget unit. We have 2 HDMI with 4K support on here as well. And we have the DC input for our power. And also we have the actual extractor on there, which is for the fan to extract all the heat. On the bottom, we have 4 screws. I'll remove this and show you what's inside so you can see what components are in here. So we can see here, with Beelink, they do like using branded parts here. We have the Kingston drive here for the storage. And we also have inside here a Crucial RAM in here with 16 gigabytes of RAM. This can be upgraded as well to a higher capacity if you wish, but 16 gigabytes is pretty good. And they are branded with Crucial RAM in here. We also have the installation area for a hard drive, or we want to put in here an SSD. You can do for extra storage. If that's what you want to do, you can just remove this area here and you can screw it down with the screws that comes in the kit and basically put that back into the unit and screw it all back down. And you will have extra storage in here. And I think you can put, you know, a good 2 terabytes in there, which give you plenty of storage. Let's do a quick benchmark on here. This is an overall benchmark, which is going to be testing the drive and the performance of the actual unit itself. And it will run through a bunch of different tests. As you can see here, the overall score was 4,638.9, and this is the pass mark rating score. And again, this is for the CPU, also 2D graphics, and we have 3D graphics test, memory test, and also we have the disk test here. And this gives us our overall score. If you want to look at the speeds of the disk itself, it does tell you this. You can submit these to the internet, so it lets it know exactly what these scores are for this device. I'll click on these and you can see here the overall was 16,768, but your reads and writes there are 2,424, and we also have 1,590. They're the writes. So also 2,447 for the memory mark, and you can see here there's a bunch of other scores on here as well. And we'd be using this software from today forward, moving forward, because I think it's a much more in-depth test. 3D graphics gives you 2,117, and we also have 2D graphics at 685. And moving on to the last one here, which is the CPU score, which is 15,401. So there's the stats there on the screen. You can pause the screen and read them at your own leisure. But basically, yeah, these are the overall scores for the Passmark benchmark. Now, movie playback plays very well indeed. As you can see here, no stuttering or jerkiness whatsoever. And if you're looking for, say, for instance, something to play your movies or Plex or something like that, this will handle it no problem at all. It will be able to do all of your needs for your movie type of playbacks. This is running on VLC, and you can see here, no trouble at all playing these sort of movies. Let's move on to the streaming test here. This is 4K Quad Full HD 3840 by 2160 at 60 FPS. You can skip it and it works flawlessly, as you can see here. Let's try Jellyfish here and see whether we can play this back. And also we'll try some skipping on this video to make sure that it's playing okay. And this is Jellyfish 140 Mbps 4K Ultra HD HEVC 10-bit. And you can see it's very, very smooth indeed. And I can skip it and it has no problem at catching up and playing that video file, no problem at all. Let's run a CPU benchmark with Geekbench here, just so you can see. On a single core, we're getting 1,297. Multi-core is 5,846. And that is with the Geekbench CPU test. We'll go ahead and run the full compute benchmark here as well with Geekbench, so we get a score there. So I'll quickly run this one. OpenCL, and we'll run this here, and this should give us some graphics score. Score was 12,077. That is for the OpenCL score. Also going to do read and writes here. Read and writes are 2,515.80. That's your reads, and your writes are 1,817.57. We're going to move on to Cinebench here. So we get a Cinebench score. Cinebench score was 7,019 points, which is pretty impressive on the multi-core test. So pretty impressive on Cinebench. No problem at all running that. Just want to quickly open up GIMP here just to see whether it opens up fine. And you can see there's no problems here. So you could do Photoshop and other types of Office applications on this mini PC with no problem at all. So this is basically where this power for the CPU is going to come into play with 6 cores and 12 threads. It should be able to handle all this sort of stuff with no problem at all. So depending on what you're trying to buy this for, it's not going to be an out-and-out gaming system, but it can play games. So just bear that in mind. It is an Office sort of based system, this one. But I'll show you some gameplay on here so you can get an idea. We could do Vulkan here, and we'll do ×4 on the upscale here. And I'll run a bunch of tests so you can see here what they look like. And you can see here, Chains of Olympus here, no problem at all. Running this very easily. And again, this is 1920 by 1080 as well we're playing this at. So let's go ahead and try one more here for this one. And again, this is pretty smooth, as you can see here. No problems whatsoever. And again, this is 1920 by 1080. And we are playing silky smooth gameplay here for this one. And this one here also is playing at 1920 by 1080. This is Dirt 4. And it's having no problems at all playing this game. No jerkiness here. And a quick CSGO here. Playing this with ease. No problem. And these were playing at 1920 by 1080 and having no issues here. And that is it. That is the Beelink SER5 5560U, and a pretty decent little budget mini PC. I'll leave all the links and information in the video description if you're interested in this one. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, then let me know in the comments section below what you want to see next, and also give the video a thumbs up. And I shall catch you in the very next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.